Hello, welcome back to the Games Kingdom. My name's Carl King, and today we've got the third in a series of reviews from a book in the series of the One Ring role-playing game from Free League Publishing. So if you've seen any of these videos before, or if you want to sort of look back on these after seeing this review, I've done a review for the main rulebook, which you see here. So this is the one that came out obviously a little while ago now, but that is the main rulebook for the game itself. And then we have had this one, which was done not too long ago now, only a couple of months or so ago. This was the Moria expansion stroke book, Through the Doors of Durin. So there is a review video for this one, and today we will be looking at this one, The Realms of the Three Rings. So this is all about the elves in the game of the One Ring from Free League. So as I say, this book has literally just been published and released by Free League. So they've kindly sent me this copy so that I can sort of run through it very quickly, show you a few of the pages, give you a bit of a overview of what the book has in store for you in terms of putting the elves into the games of the One Ring, and obviously some of the settings that fans of Middle-earth will know and love. So you've got your Lothlorien and Rivendell, and it also helps you at the end on how to create your characters for immersion into the world of the One Ring. So let's have a look. This book, you will see, is slightly smaller, about half size of the previous two books, but in no less of a way is this sort of diminishing its sort of impact into the game, because the sort of immersion into this particular part of the world is just as good as the main rule book and the Dwarven book, in my opinion. The world of the elves is obviously very integral to Middle-earth. They've been around a long time in the stories, so if you know any of the stories of the Middle-earth, and if you're a fan of the game, I'm sure you will know. But once you get this book, you will see that it is going to be a valuable sort of addition and resource into the RPG game itself. So let's start obviously at the beginning. So you've got all of your sort of forward here, and obviously sort of all of the people who are involved in bringing this book to life. So you've got your intro and your overview, and then you've got your page index obviously at the start here, as always, so that you can quickly sort of find pages that you're looking for once you've had a quick go through it initially and you start to sort of use it in your games. So obviously chapter 1, Where the West Elves Still Linger. So in here you will find a history of the Eldar. Obviously that's their sort of name, one of their names for their particular race. And then obviously this will give you all of the background of the first, the second, and obviously sort of future ages of the elves in the realms of Middle-earth. And then obviously things like staying in an elf land. So as I say, the sort of the power of the three rings comes into this. If you're a fan of also the Amazon show, you'll know that in the previous series that's just finished, series 2, it went heavily into how the rings of power were forged and brought to life, and how Sauron came to then do his own ring of power, and some of that is covered in here in the form of some of the people that were in the show are in this book as well. So you've got Celebrimbor and the forging of the rings and things. That's all covered to a certain degree in here. It's not a huge part of it, but it is in here. So you have got all of that sort of depth of that sort of lore and stuff that will draw people in. And if you're a fan of the elves in Middle-earth, then obviously this is going to be a book that you're going to really want to get hold of. and use in your settings and your games, whether you're a player in the game or whether you're a GM. This book is going to be invaluable for bringing stuff in. So you've got things like the Grey Havens, which obviously you see at the end of the Lord of the Rings, where Frodo, Bilbo, Gandalf and the elves sort of go back across the sea and leave Middle-earth for good. So then obviously we sort of carry on through the book. You've got some very nice diagrams, very similar to those that if you've seen the other videos, or if you do look through the other videos that I've done for those previous two books, you will see that they are continuing with these sorts of pictures and diagrams, and obviously they're all numbered, and they will tell you what those parts of those places, cities and lands and realms, what they are. So again, you can use these in your games as settings. You've got again some tables in the book where you're exploring markets and things within the lands and within the game. So again, they've done really well to sort of bring all of those sort of little nuances and little lovely little touches to life in the game that you're going to need, you know, because even in these RPGs, you know, you're going to have things like you've got to sort of find somewhere to stay, find somewhere to eat, to sleep, to live, that sort of thing. Whilst you're immersed in the world and in the game, you're not going to have, you don't ignore those sorts of things, or you shouldn't do. So all of these things, you know, you've got taverns, you've got booksellers, you've got smithies, so you've got tanners. So, you know, you've got all of this sort of covered so that you're fully immersed, as I say, in the game, and you're playing those roles to the full. And these books are excellent at doing that. So, as I say, you know, you've got lots of these sort of diagrams. You know, you've got, as I say, here we have the furnace of Celebrimbor. So, as I say, you've got that sort of thing from the recent Rings of Power series, where that was sort of like a huge part of Series 2. And this book obviously covers parts of that. So, as I say, if you're well up on your Tolkien lore and your Middle-earth sort of knowledge, then obviously all of these things are going to mean a lot to you. And the world of the elves is a big part of that. So here we have obviously bits on Rivendell, which again in the books and in the films, it plays a huge part in the stories. You know, that's where the Fellowship set off from, and you know, Bilbo goes to live. So, you know, all of those things that again, that's sort of well sort of known and well sort of read and loved by Tolkien fans. You know, this book will allow you to, as I say, fully sort of integrate into your games all of those things. So again, you've got here like the Hidden Valley, and you've got Rivendell and the setting and everything here, and the bridge that the Fellowship sort of leave over to go on to their sort of fateful journey to Mordor. And then we continue through the book, and you've got more and more of these beautiful, beautiful diagrams. You know, the last homely house east of the sea, as it's known, Rivendell. More tables here, so many meetings in Rivendell. So, you know, you've got all of your additional sort of things that you can put into your games, and you know, immerse your characters, and you can sort of get your players to go to these places, and you can set scenes and spend several sessions at some of these areas. You know, going to Lothlorien in the game, you know, is going to be a huge thing, because it again is a huge part of the stories where the Fellowship end up after obviously their meeting with the Balrog in the mines of Moria, and obviously them thinking that they've lost Gandalf. You know, they go on to Lothlorien, and then they move on from there to sort of continue their journey, and then they split up. So you're going to be able to sort of potentially recreate all of this, or do something similar, you know, with your parties and your characters. And there is obviously a lot more to this book than just what you see and what you've heard about. You can you can rewrite your own tales, you can do your own sort of scenarios, your own sort of quests. So it doesn't obviously have to be set in the same time periods. So, you know, you've got that sort of carte blanche, as it were, to do whatever you want to do within your games as sort of GMs and characters, to bring these sort of places to life in your own role-playing game sessions. You know, so there is a lot more here than just what everybody sort of thinks about and knows about initially. So you've got chapter 2 here, the Days of Darkness. So, you know, perils of the last road. So you've got more and more bits and pieces that, you know, you can bring in and sort of have your parties encounter. So, you know, you've got other creatures and monsters and other sort of adversaries and enemies that you're going to be able to bring into your games from this book into your games, not just for ones that you've started off in this game, but obviously to continue from your previous sessions. You can then sort of split off and use this book as additional settings for an ongoing campaign that you may be running. And this is where these books are sort of so good. They will all intertwine and weave together so that your stories will become, you know, more immersive into the sort of lands of Tolkien and Middle Earth, and your own quests to do something. You know, you're not all going to be sort of trying to destroy the One Ring. You're going to be doing your own things in these lands, whether you're in the same age or a different age to the settings of the books and the films. So you've got here Memories of Ancient Wounds. So again, it goes through all of the different sort of elven characters, and you know, it's just again another huge sort of tool that you can use as I say, as both players and GMs to bring into your setting and just make it more widespread and give it more flavour and more sort of gravitas as you're bringing these different areas into the game. And I'm sure there's going to be more of these books coming out in due course, but even so, with what's out there already and the addition of this excellent book is going to mean a lot more that you can do within your world and your settings. So again, you've got more characters and bits and pieces that you can bring in. You've got other shadows, you've got the landmarks here, so you've got a lot more places, and what those places sort of what's in there. And you know, you can, as I say, you can bring these settings into your games, have your party sort of travel there, give them a new quest. You know, they'll meet somebody in a tavern and say, you need to do X, or can you take me to Y, and can you go there and do and give a message to a certain person. So all of this stuff is just going to be as I say, an invaluable tool for GMs, but also just as players to read through something like this. But also, even if you don't play the game, if you're a fan of the worlds, you know, just buy the books and read through them, you know, because they are so well done by everybody who is involved in these. These are labours of love from the, you know, you can tell they're true fans of the world, and they want to make this as close an experience as you can to being in the books and in the movies as you possibly could with your characters. So just reading through these, myself, just reading through these has been a pleasure. So I've thoroughly enjoyed the books that have come out so far. As a fan of Tolkien of sort of going on 40 plus years now, it's been a huge privilege to be able to do these reviews because I'm, you know, such a fan of the world itself, and to read this, I've learned stuff, and I picked up stuff from these books that I wasn't sort of aware of, but also that you can use in your game. So, you know, if you play the game, great, this is going to be for you. And if you don't, and you're thinking about it, then, you know, check out my other videos, check out the Free League website, for this game. They do other games as well, obviously. They've got the Alien system and various others, and they are expanding all of those all of the time. But for me, this and the Alien system for me are the two ones that I'm hugely interested in, and these books are an absolutely fantastic way of getting into those games. So yeah, you've got this. As I say, I'm not going to dwell on it too much. I'm just giving you a flavour and an overview so that you can look at some of these pages and see the quality of the work that's gone into these books. And again, if you've seen the other two videos that I've done, this is no less of a triumph than the previous two that I've done, because they are just so well done that, you know, as I say, you can lose yourself sort of just sitting reading these and just immersing yourself back into the world of Tolkien. And yeah, so when you get to your appendix at the back here, you've got the High Elves of Rivendell, and this will tell you how to sort of create your characters from that particular setting, and then also going on to the Elves of Lorien. So again, you've got your two main areas that everybody knows of from the books and the films, and then, you know, you've got your elf lords that you can use in solo play. So you can play this game solo, but obviously it's better with a group. It's better being run by a GM and you're having a party, you know, sort of immersed in that world and having different characters. You know, you've got the potential to have humans, dwarves now, elves, all in the party, as you did in the Fellowship, and you can bring your own world to life simply by, again, adding things like this to your collection if you're a One Ring player. But as I say, even if you're not, and you're just a lover of all things Tolkien, then by all means just check these books out, have a look on the Free League website. You'll see all of the stuff that they do, all of the other bits and pieces that they do for the game. And yeah, this is just, again, another lovely example from Free League and Middle-earth Enterprises that is just a fantastic addition to this particular game. And you will find that, again, this book is of a superb quality. It's been done with again with sort of a labour of love and sort of very close to, obviously, the books, because it needs to be. And you know, that just shows the sort of level of sort of dedication and detail that, you know, the game covers, and that you can put into your game, because they've had that sort of dedication and that labour of love. Everybody who is involved in this system obviously is a huge fan of Middle-earth, or they certainly seem to be, because it's been done so well. And that just means that your games are going to benefit from that hugely, because your games are going to be so much better for having these resources and these sort of things that you can just refer back to and use in your games, bring them into your campaigns, and even one-shot scenarios that you can do with things like this now. So check it out online on the Free League site. There are a lot of these books that when you buy them, you also get free PDF copies if you're buying them direct from Free League. Obviously, you can get them through your own sort of gaming stores and at conventions or game shows. But yeah, if you order them direct from Free League, you will, depending on what they have available and what they've made available, some of these things are also, you buy the book and you get a link and you can download the PDF of the book, so that you can have it on your phone and on your tablet, which I think is a nice touch by them as well. There's other resources for the game. You can download character sheets and maps and all sorts of things for their games, not just this one, but all of their games. They are so good at doing this. And then just check out obviously things in the future. You can sign up for their newsletters. But yeah, we have another winner here from Free League for the One Ring, Realms of the Three Rings, all based around the elves in Middle-earth. And this is just going to fit into all of your games, either current or future, and yeah, well worth adding into your collection and bringing to life the Eldar into your games of the One Ring. So until we do another one of these for either this or something else, it's bye for now.